Hi, everybody. This is Daniel Tolentino with the Folklor America show. Today we have a special guest, Miss Rainbolt right here. Rainbolt, amazing
Hi.
last name. Amazing last name.
Thank you.
Uh, so she asked her to be on the podcast because I've been seeing a lot what you're doing through social media. You ramped it up. I want to say like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I started doing actually doing social media seriously about maybe a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I started doing TikTok actually at the beginning of quarantine. But I wasn't doing anything like serious. I wasn't doing anything with folk. I was just doing little TikTok dances and I would get like 30 likes or something like that. And then I had started doing a TikTok trend that's like a culture trend, and you do it to the sound. And I had got like 2,000 likes on this video, and I was like, okay, this is what I have to do. And so I just started doing folk, and I've been doing that since the start of quarantine. And yeah, it's just grown. And I just hit 100,000 followers on TikTok last night.
Mm-hmm.
So
You crossed
yeah,
how many?
100,000.
Oh, you have 100,000 TikTok followers?
Yeah, that's like my main
Whoa.
app.
Okay.
Yeah, I just hit it last night. So that's like the app that I use the most. And then Instagram is second. Don't really use anything else though.
Mm. Yeah, because I crossed, I think because I run the group Folklor America, of course, the name of the show. And then I crossed 10,000, but you put in that extra flavor where I don't. I rarely use costumes and like dress up and stuff like that because
Okay.
it's mostly me. Be honest, I'm just lazy. I just don't want to. I don't want
I
to put
feel
a
that.
channel on. I don't want to, like, I see you and all the other TikTok and Instagram like people dressing up, and I'm like, oh man, they're committed. They're more committed than me. I can't do this.
Yeah, I noticed that my videos get more likes and views when I'm in like dresses. And I have like all this makeup on right now because I'm filming like every single day, and
Hmm.
I'll try to film like 7 or 8 videos in one day so that I could spread it out, but it just usually doesn't work like that. It takes a really long time to edit and film
Hmm.
everything. But it's yeah, it is a lot of commitment because it takes me like 3 hours to get ready every day. So it's very difficult, but I mean, it's worth it, and I love what I
Hmm.
do. Yeah.
So for the what is it? So for filming, what do you use to like edit your videos and do all your stuff?
I just use TikTok to edit most of the time. There's this one trend that I just did where you put like yourself into a Pinterest board, and
Hmm.
I had to use a separate app to do it. I had to use this app called PixArt to take out one of the pictures on the Pinterest board, and then I go back into TikTok, use that screenshot, and then insert myself into the Pinterest board with one of their little filters or effects. So that's the only time that I've ever had to use a different app, though. But there are like other TikTok trends that like you might need to use
Hmm.
other apps other than TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah, because I see it. There's like a lot of cuts and scenes. Because I use mostly InShot for it because it was a free app, and then I do more. I use it more on the video editing side for group shows and stuff like that. So when we threw our Fourth of July show, I pretty much edited it all on my phone because my laptop is not that powerful to handle like Adobe Premiere and all those other like
Mhm.
programs. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll just use my phone for everything, and it works out. The only thing is like I can't do like 4K quality, which I really want to up the level of like the videos. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. Because I got really into cameras and filming, so I actually like have a whole camera kit set. That's why like
That's
you see all the
awesome.
photos on the Instagram and
Yeah.
everything. Because I got into it. I want to say it's been over a year. I've been taking photos and videos and just doing portrait gigs and different types of things. And I remember I was at practice. This is before I started the group, and I was just working with this one lady, and I was like, "Can I just take photos and like post them on the internet, like on your Facebook and stuff?" And she's like, "Yeah." Oh my god, they're the worst photos in the world. I was such a bad camera picture taker,
It takes
but you get
practice.
better for continuous
Yeah.
practice. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's why you see so much. It's more my side, more photo heavy, because it's more that's where I'm more into.
Yeah, and I
But
saw
like, if
you
I had like
created a separate
the
Instagram for
commitment
that
of you
too.
did, oh my god, it'd be amazing. I'm just not that committed. I'll
Yeah,
get
and
one
then
of my
I
students to do it or something one day.
oh my gosh, you should. Yeah. I started doing YouTube as well. I don't really use it as much because the videos take way longer to edit, but I used iMovie for that one, and iMovie was pretty easy to use and navigate and everything. It was my first time using it, and it was pretty easy. So yeah, maybe try
Oh,
that one.
so, so how old were you when you started Folklorico?
I was 4 when I started. Yeah, and I started with a group called St. Mary's Ballet Folklorico de Redlands. And my mom kind of just took me to the practice because I used to be in ballet. I was in ballet before, and she did not like it. She was like, "This is boring to watch. I don't want to do this anymore." So she was like, "Let's try something else." And we went to watch this new group of folklorico, and I like instantly loved it. I like loved the skirt work, and it was just all like mesmerizing. Like I just remember like seeing the skirt work, and I was like, "Whoa, I need to do this." And like hearing the shoes on the floor too. Oh my gosh, it was just like I was instantly like fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, because I started when I was little too. I started when I was 5 years old, but I don't remember much about it. It was kind of something I did, and then like I had bad behavioral problems in school. Not really. I just talked too much, honestly. Like I went to a very strict school with like high
Mhm.
education performance. So if you did anything that wasn't sit in your seat and study and pay attention, then you get in trouble. So I got in trouble all the time for
Oh.
talking, for messing around, for doing stuff. I don't care. But so I got kicked out of sports. So then that's all it left was folklorico. So I ended up in dancing, and I just never stopped. Like you would
Oh,
see those
okay.
kids that would come to practice, and they come to practice. They weren't too excited about it, but they weren't too. They liked it enough to keep going, and nothing really interfered. That was me. I just like kept going. It was just
Mm.
like I wasn't talented at it. I wasn't specifically like amazing at it. It's like we did 3 shows a year.
Oh,
Like that's it.
really?
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo, El Grito, or Independence Day, El Grito, and Christmas. That's it. Because my
Wow.
director, she was at a community center in South Amani, Miss Juanita Lopez, and she just did not like shows or anything. She's like, they're dumb. I don't like them. And I didn't. I was like, okay, they're dumb. I don't like them. So all I did was practice, and then I just fell in love with practice too. Where it shows to with my group, like I'll put them at before COVID. We were doing shows every single weekend, all the time. I was getting gigs. I was running the business and sales side of it, but I never cared about the shows. To me, the best parts were practice. I just enjoy practice. That's it, which makes it easy to get better because every time you show up, you enjoy being there and you're there focused to learn. Especially like
Yeah.
now that I'm older, I'm like 29 years old. What is it? Once like for males, once you hit about 25, in order to like learn, you have to be extremely focused. If you're not extremely focused, or if you're looking around or not doing stuff, your brain won't absorb the information at all, and it'll repel it. Literally, like,
Oh, wow.
not gonna learn. That's why it's harder for adults to learn than kids. And then for females, it's at a younger age because their brain develops, what is it, quicker than males. So
Mhm.
around 21 to 23, their brain is fully developed. So the same thing for them. They have to extremely focus on that task in order just to absorb it. Kids, they can be
Wow.
like not even listening, and they learn something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I've noticed that
So,
too. I teach at an elementary school. Well, before all this started happening, I taught at an elementary school, and kids are like crazy fast at learning steps. Like these kids have had zero experience with folklorico. They've never even heard of it before. And I started teaching, and a lot of them do have behavioral issues too, but like they just pay attention so well. Like they are so focused on it and they love it. And even the ones that don't pay attention, because I have a few, they are learning it just as well as everybody else. Like it's ridiculous to see how
mhm.
fast that they learn.
Yeah, it's complete. That's why when people tell me that students like that kids, you need to treat kids like kids when it comes to learning, I'm like, no, you need to treat them like adults, and you need to talk
Hmm.
to them like adults, and push them harder because they're unlimited potential, just completely
Yeah, and they
unlimited. So you can have
respect
a
you a lot more
five-year-old.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
I've
but when
noticed
it
that.
comes to adults, you need to treat them like kids. Like, you need to be
Yeah.
nice to them because you don't know where they come from, so they might have like certain like feelings or judgments about something. Or like
Mhm.
if I say something, because I'm pretty blunt, and I like half the time I'm just trying to get my point across so and communicate it so you understand it. Like I'll step on people's toes without knowing, and since like I feel nothing, like I don't know, so I always have to be extra careful and walk on eggshells when I talk to adults because I don't know where they come from.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it just, but with kids, oh my god, I'm ruthless with kids. I'm just like, okay, do it right. We're not moving to right. Okay, everybody together. We're a team. This, that, and then you just see the group excel. Like it's slow at first, but then it just takes off, just like
Yes,
a roller
that's my
coaster.
favorite part too, is just seeing them click. Like something just clicks in their head. Like it's very slow and then all of a sudden click and then they're it's perfect. Like I don't know what it is, but it's so cool to see that. That's like my favorite part of teaching.
And then, how long have you been teaching for?
I started teaching with the group that I had told you about earlier when I was 14. And then I moved to a new group just last year called Ballet Folklorico de Riverside, and I don't teach in that group. I just dance, wanted to try something new. And I've been teaching at the elementary school for about 2 years.
Oh, okay. So that's like
Yeah.
an after-school program, or is it during class?
Yeah, it's an after school program. It's kind of like I guess like a club or I don't know, it's like a little activity that they can do after school because they have like different choices. And yeah, it's 2 days a week for an hour. Each class, well, they have it separated so that kinder through second grade does a half an hour, and I'll teach them dances that are like more for targeted for their age, and then third through fifth grade is in the second half hour, and then they get a little bit more of advanced dances.
No,
Um,
that's good.
yeah, yeah, because I feel like after third grade, they kind of have more of that fine motor control, so they're able to do more intricate steps, and they would probably be bored with the dances that I teach the little kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I always focused on because I did the same thing when I was like 18. I taught at it's a program called iScore over here in Hacienda La Puente School District, and yeah, I would just teach folklorico. And for if you were 7 and under, I would straight out do la botella, but I wouldn't put any rhythmic patterns. The only rhythmic patterns would be like a drum beat, da 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 da, and I'd make them do flats as fast as possible just to get their energy out, and
Mhm.
then get them into state like kind of like I guess hypnotizing them, where you get into a state of tiredness where they're not super tired, but they're just enough to listen.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
that way you can really get their attention and be like, okay, we do this, and then you interact with the counts, and then you teach them how to count in Spanish because there's a point when la botella where it pauses. So I say 1, 2, 3, 4, or I say it in Spanish, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, and then they scream
Mhm.
it, and then they start dancing again. So
I do something similar to that actually. I have my kids start with like the cha-cha slide or something that they like really want to do and they all know. And then after that they're all pretty like tired, but then we'll go into like technique, I guess, but it's like I kind of broke it down so that it's not like the technica rasa. It's like just doing four flats, four heels, four toes, and then repeating that to the beat of a song. And then after that, we'll get into our dances because they're pretty focused after that, and they have like a lot of their energy out and everything.
So the Técnica Raza, is that something you learned when you're like 14 in your past group, or is that in the current group you are at Riverside?
The Técnica Raza I learned in my past group, but we had learned it from a conference that we went to. So we went to a conference and then we used the material we learned there and brought it to our own group.
Oh, okay. Which conference did you go to?
It was the Las Cruces Mariachi Conference. I think it's called that. It's in New Mexico.
Oh, is that the Tuscan one? Tuscan one or no?
No,
Is
that
that
one's in
Arizona?
Arizona, but I have been to that one. I went to that one last year and I really, really enjoyed that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, both of those were
Yeah,
really
because
good.
I know I see the conferences and everything like that, and like I think I want to do one. I'll probably do one within the next like 2 to 3 2 to 3 years once the group gets more funds and we get more noticed.
Mhm.
and just bring professors from Mexico and stuff like that, fly them over and teach because I think they're super valuable, super
Oh my
valuable.
gosh, they're like the I love going to conferences. They're like the best thing that I have ever done. You learn because you learn something new, first of all, and then second of all, you get to like learn how to perform in a like I guess in a different way because you don't know anybody that's around you most of the time. Well, at least I don't because I go to or I go to conferences by myself. I don't go with my group most of the time. So I learned how to perform with people that I don't know, which was really difficult for me. And then it's just like, I don't know, you get to learn things from somebody that's actually from Mexico. Like they have done this their entire life and they like were brought up in the actual like folklorico culture and everything, which is like, I don't know, it's just so different. It's really amazing.
Hmm. Yeah, just the coming together of all the groups and just learning from everything. Yeah, like when I was younger, I never took much value in them because all my teachers were from like the universities. Like my
Mhm.
first teacher, she was literally got her degree, 4 years, folklorico, everything from the University of Guadalajara. So
Oh,
she taught me all the
wow.
knowledge from there. I got lucky. I didn't even know. She would just tell us stuff, and I'll be like, okay. As a little kid, and I was with her from the age of 5 to 14. And then my next teacher, who's Emilio Rivas, same thing. He came from the University of Guadalajara. He wasn't like just like a regular folklorico teacher. He would show things, show you techniques, show you how you're supposed to do the step. You move your foot this way, you do this way. So throughout the whole thing, I got spoiled. And then after that, I just group top because all I was like hungry for knowledge because I just got tired of being in a group, I guess you would say.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't want to work on 4 songs for a whole year to put on a presentation. I wanted to absorb as much information as I can from as many people. So I'd group hop, and usually my lifespan, depending how much the teacher taught, was between 1 to 2 years. I would be with a group.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
a sole purpose of just learning because I just wanted to learn, and I had no interest in shows. Like practice was where it's at. So when they'd be like, "Oh, we're gonna go to a show and this and that," if there wasn't a real incentive, I'd be like, "Nah, I'm good." Like if they were gonna give me like, for example, if it was for the fair, I'm like, "Do we get free tickets?" And they're like, "Yeah, okay, I'll invite my friends. Okay, we'll hang out afterwards." But if it was just for something generic, like I didn't. No, I was like, no, I'm good. Like we're dancing for Albertsons. This was back when the Albertsons circuit was really popular in
Mhm.
competition. So it would be like if your group won a competition, Albertsons would take the winners and then they would send them to all their different Albertsons, and they would perform, and those groups would get paid. Well, the director would get paid, and so I did a couple of those, and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, I got it. You know,
Hmm.
to
That
me, like
sounds really
being on
cool.
stage, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
I
a
get
yeah.
that
I've been in it
though.
for a long time.
Yeah, I get that, like, the whole moving around stuff too. I That's why I moved groups because I was like, "Oh, I need to learn something new." Like, I really want to try something different. And then once I moved groups, that's when I started going to all these conferences and stuff. Like, oh, well, we would go to conferences in the other group too, but not it was like once every few years.
Mm.
And then I started going to all these different conferences and I moved to a new group too, so it's just like learning more and more things every day. And I feel like I've improved a lot since I moved groups, which is like I don't know, it's weird to see how like different groups have like different styles of like teaching and even dancing too. I know like it's kind of the same, like it's the same thing generally, but they have different, some are more like stylized and some are more traditional. So yeah, the group that I was in before was a stylized group more, and then the group I'm in now is more traditional. So that was like really like a big shock to me, but I mean, it's really cool to learn like different
Mm.
styles.
Yeah, I went the traditional route, and I never really got into stylized till like maybe when I was like 24, 25, where I was learning just contemporary movements. And then I see the
Hmm.
value in both though. I'm not a purist. Like some people are like, oh, stylized all the way or traditional all the way. I use both, but I just
I do too.
vary it depending on the song. So like
Yeah.
there's a song we're working on Arias de Mayaba, or I don't remember the name of it. But there's no way you can dance real traditional through the whole thing. So I put like PKs, I put turns, I put like higher movements, like I fuse into where when you're transitioning from the contemporary portion, and then I put a step that's like a hybrid and style it contemporary, right? And then after I go into traditional. So it's like playing
Hmm.
on both motions because
Yeah.
like for some singers that are really they have amazing songs, but if you don't dance like a ballet style to it, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, I definitely get you on that one. We did the same thing in my old group with Guerrero. We would do like we would mix both of them. So we would have like dancers in ballet slippers coming out. I don't know if you know the song El Gusto
Mhm.
Guerrerense, that one. Yeah. So at the beginning of it, we would have like ballet slippers, um, and we would come out doing something very like stylized with the skirts, and it was really beautiful. And then after that, we'd have like a traditional section, and it would just be like zapateado, and the boys would be there in like the boys would have more traditional costumes and the girls would have like more stylized costumes. And then after that, it was like a little section of stylized, and then after that is traditional steps and stuff. So yeah, we would mix the same things for Guerrero as well.
Yeah, it's just more fun that way. It keeps your students more engaged because you
Yeah.
can only do so much traditional before they're like, oh, we're just hitting the floor again. I see it with my students, especially my younger ones. And then, so when I introduce like the ballet portion and like the stylized portion, they get all excited and they're ready to go. Guys aren't as happy as it much; they rather just pound the floor the whole time.
Yeah.
But the girls seem to respond to it the best.
Yeah, I agree too. It's really, I mean, I don't know. I think it's nice to do both of them. I love doing zapateado, like learning new steps and I don't know. I love Veracruz too because I love doing zapateado. I just got into doing faldeo more because we really didn't do much in the old group. We would just do like we wouldn't even do like the I don't know, like actual faldeo. We would just go kind of back and forth like windshield wipers.
Yeah.
um, so it's really cool to learn new faldeo, but I'm really focused on zapateado more.
Mhm. No, yeah, that's what we're going over every Thursday is just posture and skirt work. And then I split up the guys to one of the team leaders like I assigned to like teach us basic steps to like anybody if there's a bunch of beginners that day, then everybody learns basic steps. If it's intermediate and advanced that day, then I send them and tell them to run through songs. But for the girls, I'm just like, yeah, windshield wipers. I'm like, usually I describe it like first position when you hold your arms. And then I'm like, okay, now move your left arm back and then now move it back forward. And that way they get it. Because I've always hated the style of like the skirt collapses on your body. I don't know. You
Mhm.
see some dancers do that. You get me? And they
Yeah.
don't hold that first position in front and back because it kills the circles and the momentum. And
Mhm.
like that skirt is based on momentum and movement, and that's what catches people's eyes,
Yeah.
especially. So, and I get my girls on pictures all the time because I'll take photos of them and then I'll show them. And I'm like, you see here, your arm drop. Look at this. Tell me what the difference between you doing it here and here. And they're like, well, that one's ugly and that one's pretty. I'm like, exactly.
Yeah, I feel that too. When I'm teaching my kids, I'll record them so that because most of the time they don't even know what they're doing wrong, you know? So I'll tell them like you need to do this differently so that everybody's together, and then they'll do it the same way because they don't realize it. Like, and so I'll record them, and when I show them the video, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're right. Like, this is what I need to do better." And then they kind of like realize it once they see it themselves.
Yep. So not too bad. So do you like when do you plan to venture out and start into like the more leaving the teacher area and going into the more director and starting your own group thing? Do you see yourself doing that anytime soon or?
I really, really want to. Like, that's my number one goal after going to school. I'm graduating college next year. But after that, I have to go to um, graduate school because I picked psychology as my major. I'm doing psychology and
Mhm.
Spanish, and I want to be a psychologist. But like, that's like the only major that you need something like a graduate degree to have a job
Mhm.
for, you know? So I have to go to graduate school for that. But I hope like once I get my life started and once I have like a steady job and everything, I will be able to start my own group. Um, if it's possible to do it before then, I really, really want to. But I think for right now, I want to learn as much as I can, um, and kind of gain a little bit more knowledge about like faldeo and maybe learn a few new regions because I haven't done every region that I want to learn, you know? So I want to learn a few more regions before I start teaching other people and like in my own group.
Yeah, no, that's where, because I always knew that I was going to start a group when I was about 29 to like 32. That was like my age range. And depending where I was at in my situation, it was either I'm going to go for it or I'm not going to go for it. And the reason I wanted to do it at that age is because I felt like I would be old enough to the 21 to 25-year-olds to be an adult. And so they don't like categorize me as like the same. I know that sounds kind of weird, but there's like that instant respect. You're like, oh, he's 29, almost 30, or like, oh, he's
Yeah,
32.
no, I get you
Instead
for
of saying
sure.
like, oh, she's like 25. It's like, to me, it was a different thing, and it gave me time to learn as well.
Yeah.
And so I always knew it. So when I was like this age range, you can just see it. It's just easier to deal with people, much easier.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've noticed that too with when I was teaching my old group or when I was teaching cuz I would give private lessons sometimes. I was very young and I was teaching people that are older than me or the same age as me, and they would like sometimes talk back or like I don't know, it just didn't get the level of respect that the other people were getting. And I mean, it's fine. Like I get where they're coming from because like who's this kid teaching me? But
Mm.
I mean, I definitely get that. Like wanting to be older and stuff. That's a really good demographic to have.
Yeah, it just is because your sweet spot for like if you're raised in a group, your foundation is literally the maybe 8, 7 year olds to 18, and when they're in that elementary grade school, this school, because they have nothing to do, like they can't do anything. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can have sports and other extra school, but you're in school, and then your parents want to put you in extracurricular activities. So they have the longest lifespan, and then you're 18 to like 25-year olds. Like you need to get them, I guess, like gigging more and doing more gigs,
Mhm.
and just you know paid. And that's the way I see it. Like you got to get them restaurant gigs where they're paid. You got to get them like little shows like quinceañeras where they're paid because like they need money. Like they're getting
Wait,
older.
so
You know
are your dancers get paid to perform?
I want to say if we have 10 shows, 8 or 9 out of 10 are free, and then 1 or 2 are paid. And those 1 or 2 go directly to the people that are adults. Like yeah, if I need to use somebody 18 and under, I do depending on the situation.
Mhm.
But 18 and over, I prefer because they have their own car. They don't need their mom to help them get dressed.
Yeah.
They have a slightly more responsible like look on it, and they're in college and they can work around their schedules.
Yeah.
Like those are the big factors of me is like transportation and responsibility on yourself to get yourself changed. Because I know some people like I see them and I'm just observing. I'm like if your mom's doing everything for you and you're like 17 and helping you. I get it, some hair pieces, I get all that stuff. But if it's too much dependent, it's like, I can't depend on you because when we go to a private party and it's like 9 o'clock at night and we have to dance for this corporate event, you know, I have stuff to do, so I can't help you.
Yeah.
What is it? My wife does gigs with me too, so she has stuff to do. She can't help you. She's getting herself ready.
Mhm.
Everybody else is doing their thing. So if you play the victim, then it's like you become a liability instead of an asset.
Yeah. I get that
So,
too. Yeah.
but that's like my number one things is because I've done a lot of businesses and I failed at a lot of businesses, like tons, like you wouldn't believe. But I learned sales skills, I learned marketing skills, I learned social media, I learned a lot of different things that I bring to the table. So when I go out, I'm constantly shooting for shows. But this is pre-COVID, like from I want to say October, end of October, early November, at least two to three shows a day. I mean, a week, 2 to 3 a week,
Oh my gosh.
and then out of those 2 to 3, we would get 1 or 2 paid gigs, and then depending on what type of environment it was, is who I would use because the group was smaller. Now it's a little bigger,
Mhm.
and it was just constant. Get them out to the field. Get them out to the field. And some like a lot of my students like performing. They love it. That's like their thing. And if they're ready, it was work on the set and then build parts of it. So I would have, if they want a 15-minute show, I'll build a 15-minute set. Work
Mhm.
that set. I would observe how the audience would react to the set in certain areas. So if I was like in Plaza Mexico, which is in Linwood, which is more traditional, like Mexican straight from Mexico, they would recognize like uh, Huapango de Monto Vaya. They would recognize Luis Miguel. They would recognize more like stuff that related to them more in Mexico. But if I took
Mhm.
that same set and I moved it to Norwalk, which is more of a Latino base, second, third generation Hispanics. If I played Luis Miguel, they didn't know who he was. But if I play como like Pedro Infante, or if I played Vicente Fernandez for certain
Mhm.
songs, more lively, they would engage more. Like I remember I did for our Christmas set, I put Sol de Mexico, and they do a little tribute to the Huapango de Montobayo. They didn't know what it was because they weren't Mexican,
Mhm.
straight like Mexican citizen, all that. They were Americans, like
Yeah.
Mexican Americans. So you would see that, and then I would lose 10 members of the audience. They would walk away. So
Oh, yeah.
that's how I would build my shows, and then from there you would build 15-minute set shows. So I would have four, and then you would have your staple like La Negra and your opener, which was Balajú, sung by Luis Miguel, because it was a really exciting song to me. And then in the middle, I would mess with it. So I'd add like a feature. I'd add a Tamaulipas. I would add like a Sinaloa. I'd make adjustments, but at the same time, you're building soloists and you're building duets. And then people
Mhm.
see that and they're like, I want to do it. I want to. So they'll learn more, and next thing you know, you can build a 60-minute show in like less 3 to 6 months, really fast with like a core group of dancers of like three couples.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah,
was like,
definitely.
and that's all just the business learning of like identifying things. And if you're just there to perform, and your director's like stressing out over the performance and getting ready aspect, this is why like I try to, if like I have little kids, I ask the moms to help out to dress their daughter, just their daughter, because moms
Mhm.
fight. Um, that's why I'm like, that way it takes that stress off me, and I can focus on the audience and the reaction and what we need to do.
Yeah. That's really
So
great. Oh my gosh. Because
yeah,
I know
there's
like
like,
some groups like use the same set for like every performance, and I have like never even thought about like changing the set based on who the audience is and stuff. That's really creative.
mhm. Yeah, I just want my students, like the students don't really know, they don't see it, but like since I did so many restaurant shows and so many like paid gig shows from like the college years of like 18 to like 25,
Mhm.
you you learn how to like, okay, I need to do more gritos here, I need to emphasize this step over here, and you learn how to pull the audience in. And I always said the easiest audience is a drunk audience because they get fired up for anything.
That's true. That's so true.
And that leaves an impression on them. And so when they see that on stage and they hire you for private events, they expect that sort of same motivation. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like a stand-up comedian who does stand-up, he needs to work his audience. It's like
Yeah.
anything. Same thing as
Definitely.
dancers. And I feel like that part isn't highlighted much in Folklorico, and that's why you get these like, I don't know, have you seen them, those like 2 hour 3 hour shows that are just boring and you want to die the whole thing?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's why like, yeah, I just can't stand. That's why you see like the 4th of July show was 4 songs. To me, that's a little too much, but that's it. It's like less than 15 minutes. This one that we're doing, we have a singer singing, so it's gonna
Mhm.
be the regular like 1 or 2 songs in the beginning, and then the third song is gonna be a music video in the middle of the show, and then we
Oh, that's
close with
cool.
something traditional. So yeah,
Wow,
exactly.
yeah.
So I can get that reaction. They're like, "Oh shoot, they have a singer? There's a music video on this set."
That's
And it's like
really
I'll figure
cool.
out the placement. So I'll probably put the first one something stereotypical, and then I'll
Mhm.
probably do it the second one just to capture people's attention. Maybe make
Yeah,
the three
wow.
song set. But man, this is like because of COVID. If COVID wasn't here, I wouldn't be doing as many videos. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't. Yeah. So
Wow.
we'll see. Sorry, I just rambled. Just
No,
went
you're good.
on a tangent.
That was really interesting to me actually.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to use some of that information for when I
You should. Yeah.
do performances for my kids. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's helpful. It's just good. And kids are cute. Like kids will capture
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. My daughter was performing. I would use her cuteness all the time. If I didn't have enough like dancers, and there's only like let's say 4 or 5 of us that could do the show, and it needed to be 15 minutes, I'd dress up my daughter and make her dance la botella.
Oh,
Yeah, and
that's
she'd
so
be there
cute.
crushing, and she just loved the attention.
Yeah.
Just absorbed it.
Everybody loves the little kids when they dance. They go crazy for that.
Mm-hmm. And it's super super useful.
Yeah.
So you wanna be a director? Have you thought about your group name or anything?
I think my group name should be up to where I think it should be up to the group. Like I think we should all agree on that when as a team, you know. So I haven't really like thought about anything, but I think when I actually form the group and everything, hopefully I could get a few different like names as input from them and then we can all decide as a team together. I think that would kind of be a little bit more unifying and hopefully bring us together more, you know, because I feel like a group has to um, be like on the same page and we all kind of have to like know each other a little bit more to get that like magic, you know, when you see like a group performing and like you have a partner dance or something and the partners just don't really look like engaged with each other, like they're not looking at each other, they're afraid to look at each other. It just doesn't hit the same as if partner was like, you know, you when they're connected. And I think a group really needs to be connected in order to um, have that like magic when they're performing. So I think coming up with a name together is a really important thing.
Mm. Yeah, no, the partner thing you bring up, that's a big thing. Every single time people dance with people, especially when I put like a veteran with like somebody that's not used to dancing with partners, I always
Hmm.
tell her like breaker, just like smile, crack jokes, do
Yeah,
whatever you need
that's
to make her
such a
forget the
huge
song.
thing. Yes,
Yeah.
it's such a big thing. I know when I started dancing with a partner, I was maybe like 11 or 12, but it was like so awkward. And you know, sometimes you have to hold hands with the partner, and I like was like, I'm not doing that. Boys are gross. And
Mm-hmm.
it took me a long time to get used to it, but I got partnered with one of the older guys in my group once I got older and moved up a level, you know. And he had been partnering with people for a long, long time, and he was one of the funniest guys in our group and everything. And he would just crack jokes the whole time. And that's like that's when partner work clicked with me. And yeah, now I know like it's not like super hard. You just have to know how to work with the person.
Mm-hmm. And then how do you get like enthusiasm out of people for like your group when you teach, like getting them to do gritos, getting them to do work better partner work? What do you personally do?
Well, for gritos are really hard to get kids to do, I feel like, because they get embarrassed. Especially kids who don't listen to like Mexican music or, you know, have never heard of it, which a lot of my kids haven't. My kids usually are not like Mexican or they didn't grow up with that if they are. But usually I'll try to make it fun. So I'll relate it to like Coco, the movie Coco. They've all seen that. And the songs have some gritos in there. So I'll be like, okay, we're going to listen to this song and I want you to copy exactly what the little boy does. And so they'll copy it and they love it because like they've heard it and they know it. So that gets them excited. And then I'll teach them new ones because they like to do it after they hear it and they know how to do it, they like to do it. So then I'll teach them new ones. And then the partner work stuff is really really difficult to do too because they're little like they're like 8 years old. And they don't really want to hold hands with each other or anything, but I'll just be like, okay, you're gonna pick your own partners, but it has to be boy girl partners. So if they pick their own partners, usually we don't really have any problems. But if I put them with somebody, then it's like, oh my gosh, it's so difficult to get them to do anything.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good tip. The Coco one is good because everybody has seen it. because I usually, what is it? I just do a lot of Ric Flair woos during practice,
Mhm.
and I get them comfortable around him. But their director's crazy. He yells all the time. He just yells and gets fired up over nothing. So I try
Uh-huh.
to. It's like it's all like it's not planned, but it's like a part of my practice. Where when they do
Mhm.
something good, I get fired up and I do like a Ric Flair woo and just like yell, and I'll yell and call out people do the thing. And like when they get tired, I tell them to yell. Like if you're tired and you can't go anymore, yell, and it'll give you more energy. And not
Yeah.
like the grito yell. I'm just like just make a noise, just make anything.
Mhm.
Like if you're frustrated, just like growl or something. I don't care. And so you see it work once in a while when they're just dying and they just start screaming. But then they get
Mhm.
that energy and they're like, I'm gonna keep going, and then it turns into more of a playful, happy thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the Coco thing's smart. That gives them something tangible, visual to relate to.
Yeah, and if they well, especially like it could be any song that like is well known, but I know my kids like really relate to Coco. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I use. But like even I don't know, any song that everybody knows like that has gritos in it, just ask them to copy it and I don't know, that's what helps me teach them.
Mm-hmm. So not too bad. And then what is it? The one thing. What was it? What I wanted to ask you. Ooh, I'm drawing a blank. My little Celsius drink is just dying right now. I usually do
Oh.
that. I went to bed late. My kids decided to stay up all night. Um,
Oh.
what is it? It's fine. It's a parent. That's normal. You did it too to your mom and dad. I'm sure your kids
Oh
will do it to
yeah,
you.
probably.
so like we talked about like you want to go into directing, like being a director in a business. So do you want to like what vision, like central mission, would you have for that company?
I definitely just want to make sure that the people that are dancing aren't doing it because they feel like they have to, I want to make sure that people are doing it because they want to. I want it to be really genuine, I want people to, because I know the audience can feel when something is genuine, you get a bigger reaction out of the audience when they know that the dancers are excited to perform for them. So I want to make sure that they want to do it because they want to do it and that they want to make other people happy, that they know they're making people happy with dancing, because I know that's my number one mission and I have that on my little TikTok bio. Like I think my TikTok bio is like I just want to dance and make people smile. Like that's my only goal, is making people smile and making people happy with what I do. Of course I want to teach them about culture and stuff, but I just love seeing the audience get fired up and like smiling. And I think it's just like a huge mood change when they know that the dancers are genuine and they're having fun up there because they want to perform.
Mm-hmm. You gotta make that into a sticker. That little phrase that you just did, you gotta make it into a sticker
Well, I
and
just
sell
want
it.
to dance and make people smile.
Well, I just
Or
want to
what?
dance, make people. That's like it's a cute and nice saying to where like people will pick it up and buy it and put it on like their dance gear, and also like you can make fun of it so it's funny at the same way. Like I know, like
Yeah,
yeah, for like the adults, but at the same time, yeah, you got to do that, especially TikTok sticker sell.
that's a
Like
good idea. Oh
yeah,
my
you gotta
gosh.
you gotta do like a little sticker thing, find a little company, register the little slogan. I mean, it only costs like $40-$50 to register like a phrase.
Yeah.
To what would it be? Copyrights or there's two of them. There's copy. I think it's copyright to
Trademark.
copyright it. Trademark or I
Yeah.
think trademark is logos, and since it's a phrase, it would be a copyright.
Oh, okay.
Because I copyrighted so that song for the Folklor America song, the Chariada.
Mhm.
So yeah, I copyrighted the song and did all the work. So that's how I learned it all. But you got to do it. That's
That's a
even
really good idea.
even if the sticker, just see how much it costs to make a sticker, like a nice little sticker. To like you use a company at first, and then after you make enough money, you buy all your materials, everything you need, and then even if you charge like $1 extra on top of it, or like $5 extra on top of it, and ship it out and have them pay for shipping, like you figure if you sell 100 stickers, that's $500, and then you get more costumes for your folklorico, and you just prep it, and it pays for graphic.
Dang, wow. I never even thought of that. Like,
Yeah, see if you can copyright it,
yeah,
and
I'm
it
gonna
like
try to figure that
figure
out today.
figure that side out. because somebody might have the phrase already, and then you're like, oh.
Yeah.
But if nobody does, just take it and just run with it and make stickers.
That's a great idea. Oh my
And I'm
gosh.
not releasing this for another week, so you have a week.
Oh, okay.
Because if not, someone's gonna hear this and they'll be like, "That's mine now," and just take it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna probably try to figure that out today, but like not only stickers, but I could turn that into like t-shirts and all kinds of
Mm-hmm.
things. If people are
Yeah,
interested in it, you know.
yeah, I know, because I know our T-shirts. They cost the Folklor America T-shirts with like so we're getting silver glitter printed on them this time, black, and they're kind of sporty because they use them for practice and stuff like that.
Mhm.
My T-shirts cost me, I think, about $5, and then the print on them is another $5. So it's $10 per T-shirt. I mean, I might be putting a
Okay.
little high because I go through this one dude, but we're in a pandemic. Everybody needs money.
Yeah.
But the gold print that we have is only $4 to print. So like that's $9 per T-shirt, which is if you sell the T-shirts for 15, $20, and then if you want to give free shipping or not, because it's a T-shirt, it's pretty thin. You just put it in a plastic bag. Like you make a good $5 to $10 profit on it.
Yeah, wow, that's a great idea. My goodness gracious. You're giving me a lot of ideas. All of them are
No,
running
that's
through my
yeah,
head.
that's what podcasts are for. It's so we can keep like I'm gonna like the whole Miguel thing and like a lot of things he says. Like what, I need to implement that. You know what, I need to do this. I need to tune up my machine to make sure that it's working properly. So,
Yeah.
but that's amazing. But let's see. Thanks everybody. That's the end of the show. I want to thank Ms. Rainbow over here, just crushing it, killing it on this podcast.
Thank
And
you.
to make sure to follow her on her TikTok, to follow her on Instagram. Are those the only two you use right now?
I have YouTube too.
And YouTube. Give her some more YouTube subscribers, guys. I know this video will get like this podcast will get like maybe 100 views, but you know, just subscribe, support the Folklorico community. Make sure to follow us on was it Folklore America? We're always putting out new content. This August, the first week, second week of August, we'll be releasing a new Guardo and a new video for you guys to all enjoy. And we have a lot of upcoming projects up. If you guys need tarimas, if you guys need costume design, we pretty much are a one-stop shop right now. So just go into it. Do you have anything coming up yourself?
I do not know. Just TikTok videos basically.
More content, just more
Yeah.
content, and then watch out for those stickers. Those stickers are coming. So definitely,
Hopefully,
definitely.
yes. Yeah.
So not too bad. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we are out.